Jain to all, my name is Aarti Chaudhary. I'm assistant professor in Akgec college, and today's subject is cloud computing. In this, we are having a topic that is resource provisioning. In resource provisioning, what we are in a cloud. What we do is that we are having a pool of resources, and what we have to do is we have just have a sharing of that resources. We are not know where the resource is. So what are the things which we do in a resource provisioning, that we are having a resource cloud provider also, we are having a cloud resource user also, the cloud brokers also. So in that, how do we use the resources efficiently so that we are having a minimum cost of it and minimum time we are utilizing. So the thing is, first we are having a resource that is a intercloud. What that thing is intercloud? The cloud we are having many clouds in our market. So what we are having are different clouds, and we are combined to have our services, individual services on the demand, and how can all the user can use it. So this is a term is a intercloud. So we are having a many cloud in the market. We are combined their jobs with their operations, and then after we are combining a single functionality, and then we can use it by using a intercloud manager. What is a intercloud resource management? What can we do is, the first we have resource discovery, also matching of resources, selection of resources, composition of resources, negotiating, schedule, and monitoring of resources. As we are having a bunch of resources, so how can we manage? This is done by the intercloud resource management. Then we are a taxonomy, how the resource management will work. First we are having a resource provisioning. We will discover the resources that these resources are available, and we can take that resources. Then we will select the resources. Then we are having a resource scheduling. That is, when all the resources are available, we can allocate the resources to the user. And then after, when the resources are not efficiently not used, then we can make a deallocation also. So allocation and deallocation is used by using a resource scheduling. Then we are having a mapping also of the resources. Next is resource monitoring. Resource monitoring is done by the how much resources are usage. If any resources not usage, we can make a deallocation and then assign to any other other user for it. So this is a management of intercloud we are having. The first is resource provisioning. Resource provisioning is we have to select, deploy, and runtime management. The thing is selection, deployment, and runtime management of all the softwares and the hardwares. Softwares, all the softwares that platform also, software also, all that thing is managed by this. And the hardware part also, if you are using any storage devices and all, that is also managed. So hardware plus software is done by a resource provisioning. When we are having any resource selection, then selection to runtime management is done by a resource provisioning. We are having a term of SLA also. SLA is service level management. This is a agreement between a source provider also and the user also, that how much time you will available this service, how much speed, all that data, accuracy, data security, risk, all that is managed into a SLA. So all that SLA has to be managed by the both the parties. So all that SLA part and the quality service of part, that has to be available by the resource providers. So that allocation, static allocation, dynamic allocation of resources, all has to be done by the resource provisioning into it. So we are having a three parts of resource provisioning. First is static, that we know that for example we have a situation that in AKT also we are having a servers, but at the time of registration, at the time of the result, that servers has to be busy, because we are having a situation that all the UP2 students, which is all over the UP, has to be log in and take their result to it. So that at that time the demand changes. At the time, normal timing, at the January to that thing, the resources 1-2 servers will be okay with it, because any student will go for the notice and all, so not the peak speed. But at the time of result, that it will go for a peak demand, and the peak demand will become a unchanging of demand. So at that time you have to handle all that data. So that resources provisioning is to be static, that when the data is more, when the demand is high, then you have to handle that demand. So that's for unchanging demands. Next is advanced preparation of resources. We are having a monthly when we are having a resource, it will go for a monthly basis, that the prices will go for the monthly basis. Otherwise, then the flat prices also will go for it. But at the time of the dynamic provisioning, what we are having a demand of the application changes at the time of AKT results and all, what the demand is to be high at that time. So all the students have to be make that making that you have to go for a result, and result making a variation of the application to be changes. So we have to be up and down at that time. No, so we have to make all servers or more resources to it, and then after we will fulfill the demand of it. Then we are having a allocation of more resources and deallocation. When there is a not in use of the cloud user, then we have to allocate it, and then after deallocation of this. We are having a self-provisioning also. We have to prepare the web pages and create according to that. So static and dynamic is that when the variation in a demand, it will go allocate the resources. If it's not in a demand, flat demand, then we will deallocate it. So these are the type static and dynamic we are having. Next we are having a what the parameters of it. When we go for this resource provisioning, there was a low cost, low response time, because we will handle it. Maximizing of fault tolerance, we have to tolerate that when we are having a 3 servers, if one goes down, then we will handle all the stuff when we are going for it. When at the time of result, we will see in our daily life. Then SLA violation, that is, if any violation has to be happened, that you are mentioning that this is speed, this 100 the 290 Gbps की speed, you will saying that this speed has to maintain. So that is mentioned into SLA and you are not giving it. So this is a SLA violation, and you will go for a legally through it, that the user and provider will go for it. User will file a case according to that. So this is a SLA violation, has to be reduced into SLA violation also, and also reduce a power consumption also. So all these parameters has to be in the resource provisioning. When we are having a time and cost has to be making a down, and then after we are having a fault tolerance service into it. So these all the things we are having the parameters according to a resource provisioning. We are having two things we are having provisioning into it. There's under provisioning and over provisioning. Under provisioning, we have what we are having leaded to when we broke at the side of the user also, at the side of the provider also, what we are having any broken of the SLA agreement, then we are having a agreement that you have to fulfill the penalty according to that. That also a legal penalty, that is cost also, that they are making any penalty that is mentioned into SLA has to be there at the time of over provisioning. Under provisioning, what we are having a resource underutilization. Underutilization, you are not you are giving a resources and you are not taking that resources full advantage of it. So that is over provisioning and under provisioning, that is come unto a resource provision. So these are the two diagrams. We are having a capacity and the demand, and you are go for under provisioning also and over provisioning. When you are not using the resources and you are maximum using of resources, and you are having a broken SLAs also. So you are not making a track, you are not following the rules which are written into SLA. Then you are making a penalty according to that. So you are under and over provisioning of it, when you are having heavy wastage of the resources, that has to be there in the overvision. Then what are the methods what we are having is, first is demand driven method. When we have a demand, just at the time of result, at the time of registration, we are having a demand of more servers at the AKT. So we will give them more servers, and then after the demand will be fulfilled, we will allocate and deallocate. Even when we are having a peak demand of it. We will that event happen, and then after allocate and deallocate it. Popularity driven. Popularity driven is when we are having a, for example, any celebrity counts, any person that is popular account. Right now we are having a Kumbh famous according to it. That is so all the servers, all the which going around the Allahabad and all that stuff. So that popularity according, and then after when they come down, then their demand will be come down. So the popularity accordingly we are assigning resources according to demand. We are assigning resources according to event. We are assigning resources. So all these things has to be resource driven. Next term we are having a global exchange of cloud resources. Global exchange of cloud resources in which there is an enterprise which is between the user also, broker also, and the provider also, and it is having a standard. It is recognized all the worldwide, and all the worldwide market will follow that is a global cloud exchange according to that. Next, we are having a limitation of the present service. What we are having a service according to cloud, inflexibility of the pricing. We are not having a that one is charging 1 rupees per hour, other is charging 2 rupees per hour. So that is inflexibility. There was no standard prices according to that. We can make it a margin. Consumer are restricted to offer for a single provider. If a person want to Azure, yeah, Microsoft. Yeah, Azure. So you have to be restricted according to that. You have to go in that one. Or yeah, Amazon service, AWS. So that has to be not restricted to the one provider. You will use what provider will provide you services, and you can use the Microsoft also and AWS, not the single provider also. You have to be swap between one user merchant. This is a traditional method which we are having a limitation. Then when we come the global cloud exchange, then what is the advantage of it? That is market directory also, banking system also. We are having a brokers also. Broker will come into picture, and then we say this is a service I am giving. This is a SLA thing we are between, and we are mentioned. So the user has many options that going through a broker also. We are having a many provider also. So they are also having a system. So we are having a user also. There was middleman is a broker, and then after we are having a provider also. So there was the chain becomes like this. Okay. So we are having a price setting mechanisms also, admission of control mechanism also, resource management also, consumer management, proxy. All these are maintained by a global cloud exchange, which is a limitation of the traditional method which are present we are having. So we are swapping between a resource provider also. We are swapping between the providers also. We are not having a single provider. We are multiple providers which is in our market. Then we can assign our resources according to that. So we are having a global exchange in a middle, that is having a service auction also, and a global registry in which we are saying user one will have a resource this of provider this. So we are having a registry of it. We are having a service auctions also. We are having the other services. This is Microsoft Azure service provide karega, Amazon E2, S3, Mosos, all these are this. These are the enterprises which we are having, and these are the broker and the end user. So all that is centrally maintained by a cloud exchange, that is cloud market, which is global cloud exchange will manage all the things with the provider, users and brokers in this. So what is a thing is the traditionally we are having a SLA violation also, regulatory pressure, because there is no centrally person who will regulate it. And next is a traditional, unwilling to shift with the traditional. These are the challenges when we come from a global exchange with the solution of global exchange. Next, we are having a security. What are the security parameters? When we are shifting to a cloud computing, there are many things. That is data breaching. We are not knowing where the data is saved. We are not knowing any denial of service attack, any type of data breaching, data loss, no backups. All that thing has to be centrally maintained. All the security measures. So these are the policy, control, procedure, and technology that has come to me a picture. That is a security in a cloud computing. All that thing is what are the loss of data, denial of service attacks, breaching, hacking of the data, what we are cyber security attacks. When we are moving our data from our computer to the cloud, and all can see that. So how can we have a security challenges? This is the main concern of using a cloud computing, that you are having a security measures, so that all that data has not to be hacked, been API is not hacked, then you are not using any API with other person, you are using a same area, same resources, same person, you are not having that your identity is not this person is also you, this person is also you have to maintain all that thing when you are using a cloud computing environment. So all that thing is a challenge when we are using a cloud security prevention. The first is designer service attacks, that the person will come and you will have a difficulty in your data that is distributed way. You are making a thing that the data is to be saved, and you have to make that any of the data is not data breach or this. All the services has to be shared, because we are having a multi-tenant environment, we are having a multiple users, and they are using the same resources, and don't know whose resources we are spaces using, infrastructure is using, platform is using, software is using, we don't know about that. So how we can maintain all that is by using a cloud computing. This is a main challenge of it. Then we are employee negligence when we are maintaining all these, because all we are this is maintaining by us also. So what are the any employment negligence, all that tabs and phones, they are having a username password and they will interchange it. So all that data loss is to be there. Breaching is also there. The identities is hacked between them. So what is the inadequate data backups? All that we have to when we give using a cloud, all the thing is you have to be take a data monthly, yeah, quarterly, yeah, what we have the 15 days, yeah, daily basis. So all that thing has to be inadequate, and you have to be a more spaces for using a data backups also. Provisioning and social, all these things are come into a picture when you are using a cloud. When you are saving a data on your desktops, that is not a problem for us, because your data has to be with you. But when you are going online, when we are using a cloud, you don't know whose resources we are using, where the data is saved into a cloud. All that thing has to be there in a picture when you are doing a cloud computing. So by all that thing here has to be there. So what is data breaching, data accounts key hacking? What we are having the data will have an error, yeah, they will give their information to other employees also, or they will making that the data has to be change in data, yeah, because the data is not encrypted. All the data has to be saved into a encrypted way. You have, when you are using a cloud, you have to be that the data has to be by using a cryptographic algorithms, that the data has to be saved by using a cryptographic algorithms also. Accounts की hackings also. So all these things come into a picture when you are using a cloud computing. ठीक है, APIs का and interfaces का. Inside thread also, when we are having a employees, all that thing. So all the attacks, insider employees and administrators will having, because all these having passwords and all. So on passwords ka, they will use, any other person will use it. So that has to be there into a picture of it. So this is a security challenge when we are using a cloud, private, public and virgin clouds. And when we are using any service model, SaaS, PaaS, and there is a network version. First one is cloning and resource pooling. When you are using a cloud, you know that the data has to be between on the is seen by others also, because it is not an encrypted one, and that the resources has to be pooled, because one resources is assigned to user. If it's done, that it is assigned to other user also. So that has to be there in the resource pooling there. So that has to be that the data has to be cloning, because when we have to make a backups, we have to clone the data. That is, one data is saved here, one data is saved here. Because if other servers is going down, the my data is not others data, because you are saving others data on your cloud. So you are not, you have to make that security measure, and you are making that resource has to be permanently backup. So you are replicating or duplicating the data, so that data may not leaked from. So that is cloning and resource key pooling. Then is mobility of data. Mobility, you have moving your data from others from to the cloud infrastructure. So you have to make that your data has been saved, because your data has to be on others hand. So you have to make the security by mobility of your data, and it may be a security of the data breaching and data lossing also. Elastic parameters which we are having a breaching and leads to a data loss. Shared multi-tenant, when we are using a cloud resources, we are having a scenario that many multiple users are using a distinct application concurrently, simultaneously. We are having on a same physical resource, because that is saved in this, for example, Bangalore, and you are also using, and another person also using. So same situation may, same concurrency may, you have been using a resources, and that identity has not been transferable, or that you are also using, others are also using. So you have to maintain all the concurrency, all the parallel things in the security measures in the hybrid, in a public media also, private also. In this, when you're using a doc or any other thing, so your other person is also using, so all that data is to be continuously saved or backed into it. So they say encrypted data, when you're using it, when you're not using it, so that encrypted data has to be data having a data loss or data changing. So any unauthorized user will use to change the data if you are writing on the authentication and identity. When we are going for any cloud thing, you are making that you have to make it. If you are using a private data, private cloud, then you have to identity. You have to authorize it by using a OTP also, by having a mail also. Then we are having a keys also according to that. So all that thing we has to maintain by a authentication and identity management, that the person we are logging is the same. We are giving a resources to it. Next, we are having a thing that data leaking and subsequent parallel data, because the security, integrity, locality has to be maintained on the cloud. So data ki alteration, data changing, data loss has to be the major project of it. Next, we are a malware attacks and so on. When we are using a internet to it, when we are using a network to it, the data has to be segmented, and the data has to be processly, that the any attacker by and will not able to change it, will not able to hack it, or may not able to read it, because all the confidential data, that is any passwords, any account details, any other things, all the things has to be moved on the cloud. We are having a storage and backup things also. We are having a backup, that the data is regularly backed up, and then the backup has to be take by that. If any server goes down, your data has to be replicated on the backup also. Subsequent pressure, daily backups, and you will say is that 15 days backups, full backups of the thing. So all that things has to maintain. All the things has to be maintained by the cloud provider, because all these are things to be mentioned in where SLA, that we will provide this, we will provide this, we will provide this, backups also, all the security from this also, breaching also, encrypted data also. If we will not able to provide it, then what are the penalties we are having and all that. So that is a user and a provider contract between them, and then after they will provide a resources. Share technology issues and all that. So when we are using our infrastructure as service, we are having a thing that all the data is shared between the technology, is shared between the other users, user 1 or user 2. So what we have to maintain the VMs also, VMs. So with that VMs, we are to be think that the users will not able to see the data of other, and see the technology, see the resource pooling or storage or other things, or identity has not been the breaching of this. Service hijacking, whether we are using in the service, unauthorized access will not occur into it. So all these things will come when we are using a SaaS, PaaS, and the platform as service, infrastructure and service, and the software as a service. There's a VM hopping, mobility and denial of service. When we are using any VM wares or virtualization, then we are having a main probability that the data has not been that the other users are using it, and then the resources pooling is also there. So that resources pooling has to be there. Identity has not been mismatched, and data breaching is also not been done by using the VMwares. So what is the thing? What will, when we, all these are the problems when we are having a cloud security. So that is to be cloud security governance, which will have a model which effectively and efficiently security को manage do by using that. कि investments कौन है, desired results क्या हैं? These are the question when we ask for are the security investments leading to the desired results? Do you know your security risk and their business? Because if you are doing any business and you are using any cloud service and all that, what are the things which will impact your business for it? What are the security threats? What are the services you are using? What are the resources you are using online? What are the things what you are putting on the data? The things are to be encrypted or not encrypted form. What are the security concerns with the enterprises also? How the data is saved? If the all these things are to be maintained by the security, cloud security governments, all the things. So the key options of the objectives of the cloud governance is a strategic alignment when we are having any security investment, because we have to invest on the security, because if we are not investing on the security concern, then we are having a risk of the data breaching and all that. So we have to make a other section of security governance, and which is having a security investment services and project on the cloud, and we are having establishment the business goals like its market service, financial operations, all that thing has to be maintained by the strategic. We have to make a strategic alignment. Then value delivery. When we are having all the enterprise, we are having a key goal indicators or ROIs that is used for representation all the key values which is deliverable to the users. Risky migration, what we are having a key risk, we will maintain a key risk indicators that this is a 0 on the value of 1 to 5. What will, if it's 1, then it was making a less risk. If it's 5, it's very risky. So that is all that indicators has to be there, that is used by the enterprise, and then after they will think that okay, that thing is very risky, it is not able to migrate on the cloud, or this is not such less risky, we can migrate it to a cloud. So all that risk migration has to be there. Next, what we is a effective use of resources. When we are having a proper uses, that allocation and deallocation of the resources, and we are a proper utilization of resources. So all that resources, because we are having in a cloud, we have a resource, because we have limited resources, we have to be assigned to other users also. So all that resources is efficiently managed and performed, and other about their data breaching or all the activities. Sustainable performance, all that indicators we are having, risk indicators also, goal indicators also, to apply that on to our. So when we are having it there, security measures has to be, security parameters has to be making a thing that all the challenges has to be what we are having DOS attacks, or all that attacks has to be maintained by a cloud security governance, and all these things 4 parameters they will think in cloud by making a measure. Okay. Next we are Ranjan. Thank you.